A new edition of the Tampa Bay Business Journal hits newsstands today, and as always, editor Alexis Muellner is here to talk about some of the week's big stories. Good morning and happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday to you. It's always nice to see you.
Of course, Valentine's Day is tomorrow, and you've got a feature this week on power couples here in the Bay Area.
Yeah, we thought about doing this story for a long time, and we sort of collectively thought about all people we could think of that were prominent. That we had two professional, visible, energetic professionals, and how do they make their relationships work? And so we narrowed it down to 5, in part because when we approached some of the couples that we thought of, they thought there could be a pejorative with the word power. They sort of said, nah, it's not really our values, or we don't really see ourselves that way. But the couples that we profiled, it's really interesting because they support certain kinds of professional aspects of their lives, yet they're still able to find some balance in each other's relationships. And so we thought that would be appropriate for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I have to read it and see what makes it work for them.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I think there's some things to draw out of that for all of us.
Fantastic. Also, the big job of finding a new superintendent for the Hillsborough County school system being watched very closely right now.
It is, and we wonder sort of why, as a Tampa Bay Business Journal, we find ourselves at school board meetings, which is sort of something we don't do a whole lot of. But the fact is that this is a very important position for economic development. There's a lot of effort to recruit headquarter locations, moving big companies, especially when you think about Jeff Vinnick's plans for downtown. A headquarter location is very critical. And what we hear from economic development people is the schools and the quality of the schools and sort of how they're managed is critical. So while the departure of Mary Ellen Elia was very controversial, she was seen as an economic development leader. So they're being very methodical, but whoever this is, that gets its job, it's really important to overall economic development.
Absolutely. And you've got a really interesting story. A lot of people were talking about this one. For a brief moment, St. Petersburg Sundial was for sale, but then the owner said it was just a mistake. So was it for sale or
Well, that's
not?
the big question. I mean, everything is for sale ultimately at a certain price. Bill Edwards has done a remarkable job with the former Baywalk, turning it to Sundial. Incredible finishes, a whole different retail lineup, and says that things are going very, very, very successfully. But most developers are in it to make investments and then figure out a way to recoup that investment. And a flyer went out inadvertently, he said. But the question is, he spent a lot of money, can he get that back? And that's something we'll be watching, is if eventually this does get sold, then can he recoup that investment, and what's he going to do to further invest in St. Petersburg, which he loves? I mean, it's a big focal point for him and in many, many ways. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
Very interesting. A lot going on in St. Pete, though.
Yeah, well, he said it wasn't for sale, but you never know. We'll watch it.
Okay. All right, we can count on you.
Yes, please.
Always good to see you, Alexis.
You too, dear.
And for more Business Journal news, check out the Money section of our mobile app.